she really touched my heart, and that's what kind of switched the switch for me to be helping people. When you're doing this, you never know who's gonna answer the door. You could spark a little interest in their brain that could change, maybe not their life, but someone else's life that they touched. It could be a chain reaction to something else. So that's why I say it's like bigger than tall grass. It's bigger than me mowing. Like, what I realized is if you wanna do it, you'll get it done. If you really wanna be successful at a certain thing, you'll make it happen, but you just really have to want it, you know?
I'm super excited today for Al Bladez to share his crazy, super successful entrepreneurial story. It started mowing grass, getting his business off the ground, up and running, and then a guy by the name of the lawn care juggernaut gave him a suggestion, and as they say, the rest is history. You've probably seen Al Bladez on YouTube, and today we're gonna get to hear behind the scenes his full story of his entrepreneurial success story. So without further ado, welcoming to the show, the man, the myth, the legend. We do this every day, Al Bladez. What's up, Al?
What's up?
Well, the temperature is, we're here in beautiful
Yeah.
Florida. It's hot, it's
Yep.
nice.
Vero Beach. How you liking it so far?
I love Vero Beach, man.
Yeah, it's nice. I love it here too.
So we have, thank you, our live studio audience, big fans of Al. So tell us the story, Al. How'd you get started as an entrepreneur?
So it all started when I was a kid. I started working with my stepdad. I would go to school, and then summer break, we'd mow lawns. He had a lawn service. He was a firefighter. I noticed a lot of firefighters, they have lawn services on the side. So he had a lawn business. It was pretty successful, and I worked with him all summer long, probably for about 4 years. And then I actually dropped out of school. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I dropped out of school when I was 17, and then I just worked with them kind of full-time then, but it's always kind of weird working for family, you know? So I ended up getting another job. I actually, there was an oil spill in Michigan, and my wife's family ended up getting me a job to help clean up the oil spill in Michigan. And then I did that for like 3 months, and then the oil spill was all cleaned up. I didn't have a job. Then I applied at Publix, worked at Publix for 5 years.
You got out of the cold. You said, this ain't for me.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, it was, first it was in Michigan, and then it was in Chicago, and it was way too cold. Yeah. Because I'm from Florida. Been here my whole life.
I love it down here.
Oh yeah. But then after Publix, I was there probably about 5 years.
What did you do at Publix?
I was a baker.
Oh, really?
In the bakery, yeah.
I think I knew that.
Yeah, I was a baker at Publix, just making cookies and making bread, which wasn't too bad, but it wasn't enough, you know? Like, it wasn't that fun.
Wasn't making the dough.
Well, yeah, I was making the dough, but not the dough.
There you go.
But then I went to Pursuit. It's a boat building company. They build like huge yachts here and stuff. I was there for probably 2 years, and it's not good for your health. Like, I could tell, like, at first I really liked it there, but then it started to get like real crazy. And I'm like a really good worker, so they ran me down dry pretty much.
Wow.
And it was like really rough.
You got to see a yacht though?
Oh yeah,
Really?
we would go on them, all types of stuff. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we would go to the boat shows in Miami and stuff. It was a cool job, but it's not great for your health. Like, I remember what made me really quit, like, I would get like nosebleeds and stuff all the time, because it's fiberglass just going in your nose and stuff. From there, I was an electrician. This is kind of a long story, but from there, I was an electrician for a little bit, and then I went back to Pursuit because I knew it was easy money. The electrician job is when stuff started to slow down, so it was like, I was mowing my boss's yard just because he liked me and he wanted for me to do stuff. I was painting his house, mowing his yard and stuff, and I was like, man, I can't live off 10 hours a week. So then I went back to Pursuit, equally didn't like it, and then I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I've been talking about starting a business for years, like my own lawn business. Ever since I worked with my stepdad, I told my wife, I said, if you really know me from back in the day, I've always talked about starting my own lawn business, but I just never did. Like, there's something about it. I would always think about it. I would watch videos on YouTube. It's just, the first step's hard, you know? Like, it's hard to make the first step, especially when you're comfortable getting a steady paycheck.
Yeah.
So that's scary to...
Well, if you know you put in X amount of hours, Publix is dependable. They're going to give you your paycheck.
Yeah.
You put in the time, you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
With a lawn business or other entrepreneurial journey, you can work, but you have to line up all the customers and you have to pay for all the equipment. It's a risk, huge risk.
It's a big risk, and one thing is that those companies, like, so if you've been there a certain amount of time, they pay you pretty good, but if you're new, you could be working twice as hard as the people that been there 20 years, you're not gonna be making that much money. So in my head, I'm like, I'm just gonna start, I'm gonna bust my butt. Like, I'm just gonna go out there, get my first 10 yards, which was probably one of the hardest things to do, is get my first 10 yards, and just went from there. And I started my business. I got up to 62 yards by myself. I think it was 62 or 64, and I was by myself. And in the beginning, I wasn't doing YouTube videos. I was just mowing.
Yeah.
But I have YouTube videos from years ago, 15 years ago, skateboarding, fishing, doing all types of stuff. And I've always just loved the process of editing and filming, getting cool shots and stuff. My dad got me into it when I was a kid. Like, since I was 8 years old, he would show me how to like edit stuff. And I was like, man, I'm bored by myself mowing. I'm just gonna bring out the camera. I see other people do it and they just vlog them mowing. And then I was just doing lawn care vlogs, trying to teach people what I know, which wasn't too much, but I wouldn't say I was a super successful business, but I was making enough to support my family, and I was happy with that, you know. But what I realized is, if you want to do it, you'll get it done. If you really want to be successful at a certain thing, you'll make it happen, but you just really have to want it, you know. There was no choice. I just had a baby daughter, so I made the lawn business work. But going back to the YouTube, I was by myself, super bored, so I was like, hey guys, I'm just gonna mow these couple yards and just take you guys along with me. I didn't think it was that entertaining. I was getting 15 to 30 views in the beginning, so I think if I was different, I probably would have stopped. But I enjoyed editing. Like, I had fun going home, editing the videos, and then posting it. And if it got 15 views, 2 comments, I was like, that's cool. Like, people are watching me mow.
15 people watched
15 people watch me, and I'm like, I'm just mowing grass, just an average person.
30 people watched you.
And then 30, and then like I was pretty consistent. I never really took it like dead serious for the first year. Like, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna be serious, I'll do a month, and then I'd stop, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna be serious, I'll do another month, and then I'd stop for 6 months.
What would cause you to lose that momentum and stop creating and publishing?
I think a few things, but life just like catches up with you. You get busy, and then it's just like, I don't know, I never expected to make money doing it. I just enjoyed doing it. So I was just like, I guess just losing focus on certain things and focusing. 'Cause that's another thing I noticed. If I focus too hard, if I focus on too many things, the one thing that I'm taking away, and I still do it, it's hard, but I'm getting better at focusing on one thing at a time. But when I put too many eggs in different baskets, it starts to...
So this is a really good lesson. You're speaking to me, Al. Prioritize what you want to go after, and then go all in on that.
Go all in.
If you're stretched thin, I'm doing a little this, a little that, a little this, a little that, you barely move the needle.
Yeah, because that's exactly how I'm with my second channel. I got other few things. There's so many things I want to do, and you could tell on my content it takes away from that. And the people, everyone, they know when it's happening. So
what flipped the switch for you to go all in then?
To YouTube?
Yeah.
So even before that, I just always had fun. I always did like rap videos and stuff. So I did the song Cut It Up, I made it, and I was like, I want to post that, because I got videos from a long time ago doing rap videos, but they're not good or anything. And then I made Cut It Up, and I was like, that's actually pretty decent.
Really good.
I was like, that's actually pretty decent. And I was like, I'm gonna post this and just see what happens. And then that was my first look at getting like some good views. And it wasn't even that good. It was probably like 1,000 to 10,000 views. I was like, man, that's pretty cool. And then after that, my views went back to 30, getting 30, 15, 100 views. And I was like, man, that was pretty cool, but I just kept doing it. And then the lawn care juggernaut reached out to me, and he said there's just something about my content that he loves.
Wow.
And he told me to go ahead and try to do like the style of videos that we're doing now, just like mowing tall grass for free. In the beginning, I just thought I was gonna do abandoned yards and just tall stuff. I thought I was just gonna do a couple or just see how it was. And then I did the one, and he told me he would post it and he would share it. And in my head, I was like, okay, so this is my opportunity. If he's really gonna post it, I'm going to drive around, find the worst yard I've ever seen. I'm gonna do the most camera angles. I'm gonna just I tried to really like set it apart.
You got an incredible opportunity.
Yeah.
You took advantage of it.
And I took advantage of it. I said, I'm gonna do the best. I already like to edit, so I'm gonna edit it pretty crazy, and then I'm gonna post it, see how it does. And if he shares, I honestly, me and Kevin, we talk back and forth, but I didn't know him. Like, just like me and you, we talk back and forth, but now we seen each other, we know each other. I didn't know him, so I don't know if he was just talking or, but now that I know Kevin is one of the best dudes that there is. But so he shared it. Oh no, before he even shared it, it got like 30,000. Like before he shared it, it went crazy already. And then he shared it and it like blew it up. While I was doing the job, I was like, man, I might not be able to do one of these again. This is hard work. I'm like itchy. I got bugs biting me and all types of stuff. But then I was like, I'll do a couple more because it had such a good response. And like in the beginning, I didn't do it to be helping people out. I just did it just because it was tall grass, it was fun. But so what happened, I did 3 tall yards, and then the 4th, I'll always remember this, the 4th tall yard I did, there was a lady and she was going through like such a hard time, and I knocked on her door and I was like, asked her if she needed help with her yard, and she was really depressed. Like we had a full hour conversation that I didn't put on video or nothing. She really touched my heart, and that's what kind of switched the switch for me to be helping people.
Wow.
Instead of just doing whatever. But what I realized is when you're doing this, you never know who's gonna answer the door. You might think they might be ungrateful for you doing the job. A lot of people, I see it in the comments all the time, but people don't know the story.
Yeah.
But people, they might be young, they might not seem grateful or something, but you could spark a little interest in their brain that could change someone, maybe not their life, but someone else's life that they touched. Like they might, oh, this guy just knocked on my door, he didn't know me, he cut my grass, and he might be at the store or something, and there might be a homeless person, or you never know.
Yeah.
It could be a chain reaction to something else. So that's why I say it's like bigger than tall grass, because it's bigger than me mowing. Like I've had conversations with people that are like good conversations.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a chain reaction. So that's how I came from just mowing to helping people. Now it's bigger than just mowing.
Yeah, so how did you go from the hustle and the grind to get 62 customers, all that effort to build that up, now all of a sudden you're blowing up on YouTube? How did you, because now you're going back into straddling 2 things.
Yeah, I put, it's like bigger than tall grass, because it's bigger than me mowing. Like I've had conversations with people that are like good conversations.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a chain reaction. So that's how I came from just mowing to helping people. Now it's bigger than just mowing.
Yeah, so how did you go from the hustle and the grind to get 62 customers, all that effort to build that up, now all of a sudden you're blowing up on YouTube? How did you, now you're going back into straddling 2 things.
Yeah. So when I started making decent money on YouTube,
decent's a humble word.
Yeah, I started making a decent living just off YouTube, more than I was mowing, and I was like, I'm helping people out. I pretty much put the lawn business on pause, because I know I could start a lawn business from anything. I've done it with nothing. I could do it again. So I knew if I took a break on that and I took the leap to try YouTube, I knew I could always come back to that.
Exactly.
So I was like, I'm just gonna take the full leap. 100% I'm putting into YouTube, and that I just put 100%. I try to keep doing different things to stay a little different than everybody else, because it starts to become all the same. Like everyone's doing the same thing. But it's crazy. One thing Kevin told me, the biggest YouTube channels at the time when I was at 200 subscribers, it was him, it was Top Notch, and I think there was one more, but I forget who it was.
Copper Creek.
Maybe Copper Creek Cuts. It was them 3, and Kevin told me, he said he saw my editing style, he saw everything. He said if I start now, he sees that I would be with them.
Wow.
So I was like, man, I don't know if he's just telling me, but it was crazy. I told my wife was like, who's this guy? Like, we're both like weary at first. Like, who's this guy that's telling you all this? Like, I don't know. It's a crazy experience how that happened.
Yes, that's absolutely fantastic. So what was your wife thinking in these early days?
So when I first did the very, very first tall yard, everyone thought I was crazy. They're like, you got to get paid to do this. Like, that's dumb. It's not smart to
charity effort. Yeah,
it's not smart to do that. And I don't know why I did it. I'm just kind of stubborn. I was like, people telling me no, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Similar to my other job, like if you tell me I can't do it, because I specifically remember a boss at Pursuit, he told me millions of people have lawn businesses. You're not gonna be able to make it. I said, okay, let's see.
And then we had a milestone, and I remember, and by the way, if Al goes back into his DMs when he was getting 200 views, I was DMing you back and forth,
yeah.
and I remember when Cut It Up came out and hit 1,000 views, I was like, we're about to be at 1,000 views, I was all, you can go back and read those messages. I was your cheerleader from the start, and so to watch the whole thing happen, like,
yeah, I remember, and Paul, he plays a big role in this too, because I remember one specific podcast, you said do 100 videos. Stuck with that. That just stuck with me. Do 100. Whatever happens, do 100. What's the worst? What's the worst that could happen?
Well, the worst that could happen is you make 7 and they're flopping and you give up, and that
And
8th one would have been the one.
Yeah, and it's literally that way, because I was going through some, not hard times, but I was stretching thin before YouTube actually did end up. Like, it's all a blessing that it all just happened right at the right time.
Yeah, and as it started growing, Al started DMing me, I'm gonna have 100 by GIE. And I'm gonna be honest, I was your friend, so I was like, go for it,
Yeah,
but I'm like,
there's no way.
Come on, Al, like, you gotta be realistic, you know what I mean? And he was serious.
I knew it. I just felt it.
It's crazy. Now, from a mathematical perspective,
impossible.
I mean, it's possible, but that'd be just like you, if you don't have a YouTube channel, saying, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel and have 100,000 subscribers in 3 months.
Yeah.
And what happened?
It happened. I had like 160 by GIE, like 160,000 by GIE. And then it just kept growing from there. It's crazy. Every spike is bigger and bigger. So
wow.
It was like the first big video was 30,000. The next big video was 100,000. Next big video was 300,000. So I don't know what the next spike's gonna be.
What was that like to get your silver play then?
Oh, it was awesome. It was like, it doesn't seem real. The idea is better than like getting it, I feel like. Being completely honest, the idea is better. Like it's more meaningful, like 100,000 subscribers actually subscribe to you, because I got the play button, I was like, man, this thing's kind of just like cheap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a little bit cheap.
I assumed it'd be like super heavy.
No, not heavy at all. It's
really?
Just, it's like I don't know, it's just like cheap. I'll show it to you.
Really?
Yeah, it's cheap.
Okay.
But it's cool, because the meaning behind it's cool.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. I just keep it in my garage. I don't even know where it is.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, it's somewhere in my garage. But here's the thing too, I don't know if 1 million's gonna feel the same way or if it's gonna feel even crazier.
Yeah, and by the time you're watching this, you very well may have hit that milestone.
I don't know
right now
yet.
you're at what, 800?
Yeah, 800 probably, 800,000.
Who's in the running to be the first lawn channel to hit 1 million? Because there's a few of y'all, and the guy that's coming out of not nowhere, but he's got the most momentum right now is SB.
Yeah,
Mowing.
I think
he's on fire.
I think Kevin, SB, and me, and who knows, someone else might, because with the way these are, all you need is 2 big videos to hit back to back, and someone could probably hit 1 million overnight. It's crazy.
What keeps you going now? Because I've only been sitting out here for 30 minutes,
and it's hot, right?
Hot, and it's not even the summer yet, and so you're dealing with the Florida heat, the Florida wildlife that I don't want you to introduce me to.
Oh yeah, no. Hopefully,
we're about to go golfing, so
yeah.
I was like, yeah, there's gators on the fairway and stuff.
Yeah. But I don't know. I've just been here my whole life, so I'm used to it. I've always been in the heat.
Well, I probably should have wore shorts. That's another thing.
I don't know. I'm just used to the heat, and
but back to my. We're back. We had our camera overheat in the morning in Florida, so we're gonna continue. The milestone you're coming up on is 1 million subscribers, and you have something that's keeping you going.
Yeah.
So what's motivating you to keep being so aggressive?
A big thing is my family. I just really want to make sure my family's good, and there's laws to it, but what I got to do is I just got to keep myself creative. I found out if I'm doing the same thing, I get kind of bored.
Yeah.
So I got to really think of something else to make it more creative. But I just love helping people out. It's people's expressions and just helping someone that really needs help. There's no better feeling. So it's kind of addicting a little bit in ways.
Because you don't know how the result of what's going to happen. There's mysteries, surprises.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be like a mountaintop when they're grateful, and then it's probably got to be a letdown when they just act entitled or like.
Yeah, but I just know there's a bigger picture for why I'm there. So if I don't think they're grateful, it's fine, because there's another video I did, and I did kind of feel in my heart that they weren't too grateful. But an older man, he was walking down the street and he was just asking me what I was doing. And he said that just me alone restored his faith in people.
Wow.
So he just happens to be there while I'm there. It's not a coincidence. Like I needed to talk to him in a way. So
that's really good. Yeah, in the Hebrew language, the word coincidence doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
We've made it up in America, but they don't have coincidence. It was divine encounter. Yeah, with that guy encouraging you. Is God probably knew you were discouraged because you cut their grass for free and they didn't appreciate it. That's repulsive. That's unheard. That's ridiculous.
And what's crazy is
go ahead.
One of the main reasons, the only reason I started my YouTube channel is because I bought an iPhone and I guess it was a stolen. I got it off Facebook Marketplace.
I remember the story.
And that's the only reason I started doing YouTube videos, because I had a phone that wasn't worth anything. So I was like, I'm just gonna make videos.
Wow. So to put this in context, you shared this story before. Al bought a phone. The guy who sold it to him was crooked, and it was like you couldn't use it to call people.
After a month,
so you used it as but you still have a really
good
impressive camera on the phone.
Next level.
So you're like, well, I got this camera that you don't really. It's kind of like a freebie thing.
It was either throw it away or
use it as a camera.
Wow. And that was one big thing, and that's not a coincidence, I don't think.
Yeah.
I touched a lot of people within the past 2 years that I probably would have never, if that never happened to me.
Yeah. What's another favorite story other than that guy stopping by to say thanks for doing this?
What's crazy is when I knock on someone's door and they already know me. That's
really?
A pretty crazy one.
That's happened. Well, I remember seeing one of those.
Yeah,
before.
it just happened the beginning of this year, and it just happened on last week's video. The same thing.
Wow.
But the one that happened at the beginning of this year, he could not believe it. I'm like, I'm just a regular dude just cutting.
Well, so tell us the story.
I knocked on his door. His grass was like super tall, I guess during COVID or whatever. So it's been a long time that it hasn't been cut. But him and his wife, they've been having a pretty hard time, and they were just down on their luck, and I just came by and I helped him out, and he's like, I cannot believe you're at my doorstep. This is crazy. And actually, she started crying. And
so he had watched you on YouTube?
Yeah, he watched me on YouTube.
Knew who you were. You come knocking on his door.
Yeah, he said, I had no idea you lived in this area. It's crazy. It's cool. Another story, I just got one of my weed eaters stolen straight off my truck. So the podcast probably isn't sponsored by whatever ramp rack or whatever.
Not yet.
Whatever rack I had.
Or Green Touch or what?
Because I don't know. In the video, he looked in my window. He tried to pull the weed eater off one of the racks that I had. He couldn't get it off, but I left the other weed eater just open. He just snatched it. There's a lot of crazy stuff, and then just relationships with people that you never would have had before, like Kevin, you, like so many different people.
What would you say about, we'll use the Juggernaut's generosity, because he was already leading the way, leading the pack, earning a lot of money, helping a lot of people, and he took the time with you with 200 YouTube subscribers. You had nothing to offer. It wasn't like,
I don't know why.
Hey, I'm gonna give you a shout out. Like, you had nothing to offer him, but he invested in you.
I don't know why. I don't know. We'll have to ask him. I don't know. I don't know why. He just.
But how has that changed your life? His generosity.
Completely changed it completely, from grinding hard, struggling, to being comfortable, being able to help people out, meeting awesome people. He changed my life completely. But as I was saying in the beginning, you also, and you probably don't even know, like when I was mowing, it gets boring mowing. So just hearing like podcasts, and there's no better podcast for the industry than the Green Industry Podcast. I swear there's no other podcast, because it's so good. It teaches you everything. You talk to people that have a ton of experience. Everyone you talk to's experience, I learned from that too. So that's cool. I don't know how to say that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you talk to people from up north, they've had 20 years in the business, and they tell you their mistakes. I don't go through those mistakes because they've said it.
Wow.
So that's kind of a cheat code to start in a lawn business, is the podcast.
That's very encouraging. Thank you,
It's
Al.
cool. Yeah, it's cool.
So what's next for Al Bladez?
I'm just gonna be doing the same things, trying to think of some next level cool video ideas, and hopefully change some people's lives and help as many people as I can.
Now, if you guys know my story, I work on yards that are already maintained. If it's 2.5 inches tall, we're like, oh my gosh. Like, we like to cut it short in Georgia. Start the year at a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, finish the year at 2.5. This whole tall grass thing is, the Juggernaut took me out on one of his for a few days, and I was like, oh my gosh, Juggernaut. So now I'm down in Florida, and I was like, I got something scheduled for you for Saturday, man. So what are we getting into? Tell me
So I have my eyes on a few. If you guys do tall grass, you know it's not easy to even secure a job to do because people say no. It seems like a sketchy thing. Someone's knocking on your door trying to give you a free service. They're like, no, that's sketchy. So I got a few lined up. We might be having to grind to find some, but we should be getting some good work and then show you the way I do it.
Okay.
I know how Kevin does it.
Yeah.
I think we all probably have our own different little flares to it, but we should have a good time. Got a golf game coming up today.
Yeah, we are about to hit the links, so Meadow Woods, baby.
Meadow Woods. It's a pretty nice golf course.
Really?
Yeah.
What about the gators? Is there water at this one, or?
Oh yeah, if there's water in Florida, there's chances for gators.
Okay.
Even in pools.
What do you mean?
Yeah, if there's water, there could be gators.
Well, I don't see one in here.
Well, yeah, not in here, but it's happened.
Really?
They'll climb these little fences and stuff too.
Really?
Have you seen it on YouTube?
No.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I'm very meticulous what I watch on YouTube. Because if you watch it one time, then your next feed.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big wildlife.
Nah, we'll do a good one. My favorite ones are, I call them the mullet yards, because it's party in the back. It's a real crazy backyard. The front yard is not too bad. Those are my favorite ones.
As you've been sharing your story today, there's something that they put on the shelf. Like, you always like making videos. And when you finally went all in, and I'm not saying everybody needs to follow your recipe of making videos, but there's something God put inside of us that's like, you knew you were called to do this.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who's kind of put that on the shelf?
I would say if they truly feel it and make sure everything's in line, because I knew I always had something I could go back to. Like, I could always cut yards. I would say if you truly feel like there's something that you need to do, it might be bad advice. I don't know if I'm giving bad advice, so take it with a grain of salt. I would say just go for it, because I'm telling you, like, we would talk when didn't even have YouTube. I had 30 followers on Instagram. So, like, I'm the most average person that there is. Like, this is all just, I don't even know. So I would say go for it. Like, if you feel comfortable, if you're in the position to, go for it, because we're only getting older.
Well said. Well, let people know how they can watch your videos and how they can connect with you.
So just Al Bladez on YouTube. You go to albladez.com, go straight to my YouTube site, and it's pretty cool content, I think. I don't know. It's fun to watch.
Well, give him a subscribe, turn on that bell for notifications. His channel's Al Bladez, and he does this every day.
Peace.